If you're relocating the Chicago suburbs and you're thinking about Naperville, Geneva, St. Charles, this video is going to save you from a very expensive mistake. Because here's what happens all the time. Buyers do their research online, they pick a town, and then they move fast because the market moves fast. And 6 months later, they're wishing that someone had just laid down the differences. Because now they have the wrong school district for their kids, a commute time they didn't plan for, a tax bill that they didn't see coming, and a lifestyle that doesn't match how they live. These are not the small things. These are decisions that range from $400,000 to $600,000. These decisions cannot be wrong. In this video, I'm going to break down the differences between all three towns: commute, lifestyle, taxes, schools, so that you can make the right decision for you and your family before you're locked in. My name is Moses Bonilla. I'm a Chicagoland real estate agent that specializes in Naperville and the Fox Valley area. I work with relocating buyers from San Francisco all the way to New York, and even buyers inside of the heart of Chicago who want to move out to the relaxed, laid-back suburbs. Now, this comparison is one of the few conversations that need to be had because on paper, these towns look very similar until you dig into the details. Now, I'm going to walk you through each one honestly. There is no pressure in any direction. I am not here to tell you where to live. I am just here to help you understand what the trade-offs are. If by the end of this video you feel like you want to talk through your specific situation, my contact info is in the description below. Reach out at any time. Now let's get into it. Now let's start with price, because that's where buyers start the conversation the most. And with Naperville, you're sitting at a median price range of about $600,000. And that's based off of Redfin's data from January 2026. Now, that is the most expensive of the three. And there's legitimate reasons for that. We'll get into that as we go. Now, Geneva's sitting at a price range of about $423,000, with St. Charles following in a similar suit of about $487,000, and we see that from early listings in 2026. Now, if your budget is under $500,000, that opens up so many more options for you in the Fox Valley area. You're going to get more square footage, more homes, and more flexibility. In simpler terms, a better bang for your buck. And that is not a knock on Naperville. That is just reality of the market. And that connects us with that price connects us with a lot of other things in this video, like lifestyle, schools. So just keep that number in mind as we go. Property taxes. Now, I put this early on in the conversation because this can change your whole monthly payment quietly in Illinois. And most people don't even think about it until they're already under contract. In Naperville, which sits in DuPage County, for the most part, is at about 2.16% to 2.22%. In St. Charles and Geneva, which is in Kane County, it runs a bit higher. So you're going to have a tax rate of about 2.60%. You hear this and immediately think, well, it's going to be more expensive to own a home in Geneva then, until we run the numbers and we actually see that differently. So in Naperville, with the median purchase price of $600,000 at 2.20%, your taxes are about $13,000. In Geneva, at $423,000 with the effective tax rate of about 2.60, you're actually coming out at about $11,000. So even though Kane County's tax rate is a bit higher, the median purchase price of Geneva and St. Charles completely offset that, showing that you're going to be paying more taxes in Naperville than in Geneva and St. Charles. Now, the lesson here to be learned is that don't just look at the listing price. Run the numbers so you see your full monthly payment, right? So run the insurance, run the purchase price, run the property taxes, HOA if there is one, because that can change the whole conversation. Now let's talk schools, because for most relocating families that are moving to this area, schools are not a factor. They are the decision, and everything else comes second. Naperville's school districts 203 and 204 rank top 50 in the entire country, and that's according to Niche's 2025 rankings. Now, keep in mind, that is top 50 out of over 10,000 school districts nationwide. Niche has also ranked Naperville as #1 place to live in America. And the school districts play a huge reason why. School District 203 in Naperville's proficiency in English, math, and science are 99th percentile in Illinois unit districts. That is not a marketing claim. That is just Illinois report cards. Now, to be fair, Batavia, Geneva, and St. Charles school districts are not weak. They actually hold a strong state designation. Geneva School District 304 and St. Charles School District 303. Your kids will be getting a good education here. Now, if your #1 priority is to have a top nationwide school district, Naperville is the answer. And that's just the honest breakdown. If you're okay with an excellent over elite school district, honestly, which most buyers are, any of these towns will work for you. Now let's talk about lifestyle. Now, this is really hard to put a number on, but it matters a lot, especially if you come from a city where the way you live day to day is something you care about. Naperville's downtown is vibrant. So we have restaurants, we have a river walk, farmers market, local shops, and local events year round. Now, it's a larger city, 150,000 people. If you're looking for energy, walkability, amenities, Naperville delivers, especially right at your front door. Now, this is going to give you a city feel inside the suburbs. While Geneva is going to be on the opposite side of the spectrum, it's a lot smaller. We're talking about 21,000 people. And it's going to have a historic downtown that is charming and walkable along 3rd Street on Fox River. Now, you're talking local restaurants, local shops, and a tight community feel. And a practical advantage to it is that it actually has a Metra station in town along Union Pacific's West Line. So if you're commuting to Chicago, you can literally walk to the station. And not many Fox Valley towns can say that. Now, the trade-off is that Geneva's market, its inventory is a lot smaller. So you have fewer options at any given moment. So when you see the right home, you have to be ready to move on it. St. Charles is going to be between the two. A little bit bigger than Geneva at around 33,000 people. It's giving you that riverfront lifestyle, arts, dining, good local events, shops. It gives you a really great quality lifestyle. Now, the difference is the commute situation, which we'll get into the next section. But if you're looking at it at a pure lifestyle standpoint, it gives you that riverfront, that riverfront small town lifestyle, but just not as going as small as Geneva. So if you're interested in that, then St. Charles is definitely something to look at. Let's be direct about commute. Most buyers tend to underestimate this, and yet it affects their quality of life every single week. Naperville sits on the BNSF Metra line that runs into Chicago Union Station. We have frequent servicing, multiple stations, and a typical runtime that runs faster than most suburban lines. If you're commuting to Chicago about 3 to 5 times a week, honestly, Naperville's train access is going to be the most convenient out of the three. And that's just reality. Now, Geneva has the Union Pacific West Line in-town station. So that's a genuine advantage that you could just walk to the station. Now, it is going to have a longer run time than Naperville Station. So just plan accordingly if you go and commute to Chicago, let's say about 3 times a week. And then finally, we have St. Charles. St. Charles doesn't have a station at all. Actually, we see most residents that commute to Chicago just drive to either Aurora's, Naperville, or Geneva Station. If you are a remote worker or you work in the Chicago suburbs, this isn't an issue at all. But if you are commuting to Chicago for work, this is something that you definitely have to, an extra step that you have to plan for. Now let's tie this in all together, right? So Naperville is the right fit for you if schools are a top priority. If you want a large city feel with more energy and more amenities. If you are regularly commuting to Chicago and you want the best train access, if you have a budget of 600,000 and above, now you are paying a premium price, but you are getting a premium product in return. Geneva is a right fit for you if you want a walkable and historic downtown that is charming. If you want a Metra train station that you can just walk to. And if you have a budget of 400 to 450,000. Now, here is the thing. When you calculate the numbers and you run your monthly payment with property taxes included and compare it to Naperville, the gap isn't as small as people would expect. Geneva gives better value than it looks like on the surface. And then finally, St. Charles is a great fit for you if you want a riverfront lifestyle and a mid-sized city feel. And if you are working remote or you're flexible on the commute. Now, here you are getting a better bang for your buck compared to Naperville. You are getting more house for your money and a great lifestyle included. And there is no wrong answer here. There's just the right fit for you. If this video helped you think through your decision, hit like and subscribe. I put out content like this regularly so that buyers can navigate the market with confidence and clarity without the pressure. If you're serious about making the move here and you need someone in your corner who's going to keep it straight with you, reach out. My contact info is in the description below. If you're in the middle of relocation right now and you're trying to figure out which town fits your situation best, that's exactly the conversations I'm here to have with buyers. I'll ask you the right questions and understand what matters most to you so I can get you clear and focused on what matters most to you. Don't waste your time searching in the wrong place. No pitch, no pressure, just a straight conversation. The link to reach me is in the description below.